What's up? I want that to be the start of this whole thing. Like, we got a chore chart. We got everything going on. The whole house is great. But in that, we got a chore chart, dude. Yeah, Aisha and Gils took the trash out Wednesday night.
Wow.
We got a lot going on. A lot of big things going on. But all that to say, our landlord at the time, who's not our landlord now, his name was he bought the house.
We're just name dropping people.
He
didn't buy the house.
We could bleep it all out.
He was gifted the house.
He was given
That's
the house.
why didn't
And every time he came to work on our house, we should definitely bleep his name out. He wore this, like, at first it was a white shirt like this, and it was Chick-fil-A. It was just a regular Chick-fil-A shirt. But every time he came, he was wearing a shirt to the point where, like, it was brown.
with holes.
By the time he was done, he would do all the maintenance himself, and he would do it poorly.
Yeah.
But he talked to us one time.
Never felt like
We were-
anything actually got fixed.
Nothing got fixed. If anything, it got worse. If anything, he like made things worse. He painted our house a different color and was like, "Okay, it's clean now." Like that was his process. I was like, "You got to do things other than paint houses."
We call it the brown house, and it was brown.
He painted it beige.
It was like a beige
Yeah.
yellow.
Still a
we
brown
still
house.
call it brown house.
It's still
But we were all together as a house one time, and he goes, "Guys, I'm honestly appalled at how bad this bathroom looks. Like this is probably the worst looking bathroom I've ever seen." And Brady, the guy, our roommate at the time, was like, "Hey, could you just like, so we can pinpoint whose room it is, if you could tell us whose bathroom it is, like that would I'd really appreciate that." And he responds by saying, "The fact that you have to ask me which bathroom it is shows well enough character into how terrible you're treating this house." And he left. And that was the last, I think it was one of the last things I ever heard talk about. It was mine and Val's bathroom.
Yeah,
It
I
was
don't
pretty
know
dumb.
what to feel around him.
There's
The lasting image of him imprinted in my head was when this was right before our landlords transitioned, and we were re-signing leases.
Michael.
Yeah. And so it was all of us in our house on the porch, we're signing our leases, and then it was a few other guys in other properties that he owned.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're sitting there, we're like signing our stuff, we're waiting, and a friend of ours, Michael McKinney, who lived in one of his other properties, is coming to give him his lease. And he drives up, parks, he runs up the porch, and he goes, "Here," hands it to him. He's like in a hurry, he's got to go somewhere. He's like he's turning around to walk back down the porch, and he's just on the porch. He gets his lease, and he goes, "Oh." Like no joke. Does this move,
Michael!
And Michael like turns and goes, yeah. And then, like I was the most awkward. Like it wasn't. He could have just like left-handed it. He just like right hand back over.
Michael.
Did not turn his body.
oh my gosh.
That was good.
On the topic of I think we should talk about his plumbing fix.
Oh yeah.
To Graham's shower.
This is
You want
great.
to talk about
Oh yeah. So beginning of our sophomore year, again when Nick and I are living in their downstairs room, there's a progressive leak starting to happen. It's very tiny, but leaks are just not good in houses, especially in a house like this. It's
Hardwood, no insulation.
Right.
And this house is like 100. I don't even know how old
Too
this is.
old.
It's way too old. So the beginning of the year, we just like kind of first noticed it. You got like the stains on the ceiling. It's not in our room. Our room has a door that leads into our pantry room. It leads into the kitchen. In this middle room, right above on the ceiling, there's like these water stains. I'm like, okay.
That's not good.
Yeah, it's not good. There's obviously a leak, but like we mentioned, I don't know if we mentioned it then. We did mention it. I don't know how much it was leaking, but throughout the year, it was whenever Graham would use the shower, it was apparently he was taking the shower head off or whatever, and it would hit the walls, and it would go through whatever. And whenever he took a shower, the water, like throughout the year, was getting more and more, and so like eventually it was just the water stains, and then it was like you could see water droplets on the ceiling, and then like by December there's a drop. There's definitely
like a
steady drop,
almost a steady flow.
So usually we just had a towel in there. We never really washed it. We just kept
Just
it
to
in
soak
there.
it up.
Yeah,
Just to soak it up,
It would soak it up, and then
College.
by the next time he took a shower, it was already dry. So it was just the towel that collected the water.
Right.
So it was there. We kick it off to the side when we didn't
water
need it.
towel.
Yeah, it's a water towel.
But at this point, like, knew.
Yes, we told him. We're like, hey, dude, there's a leak, and he's like, all right. So like every time you take a shower, it's dripping, and it's this to the point where the towel would be soaking wet.
like wring it out.
Heavy, yeah.
Like it was not a drip anymore. It was like another
Yeah, it was
shower.
a little bit. Yeah, it was,
You
it
could
was just
shower
getting heavier.
Graham's leftover shower.
Right. And so the ceiling starts spread, like the water starts spreading, and then
Gross.
I don't remember when it was, but like second semester, it's late at night, we're in bed, like Nick and I are like heads down trying to go to sleep.
Yeah.
And I just hear Graham's obviously upstairs in the shower, and I just hear. It sounds like someone's in the kitchen with the sink on full blast.
I forgot this part.
And I was like, Nick, do you hear water? And he's like, yeah, I think so. And I'm like, what is that? I was late, and everyone's, all the lights are off.
Right, everyone's asleep.
Except for Graham, who's in the shower. And I get
1 in the
up,
morning.
I open the door, and there is a waterfall.
Yeah,
like just a fluid. There's no gaps between the water. It is just constant water. And I was like,
towel.
Nick, the water. And he gets up, and we have the towels just soaking wet. There's water all over the floor. And then I grab we had to get a bucket
Yeah.
and pans. And I ran upstairs to Graham, and I was like, dude, you gotta cut off the water. And then the water's just pouring through, and still to this day, I don't think it's been fixed.
No.
Well,
I mean, it's
the shower got replaced,
He redid that whole bathroom.
but didn't replace any of the wood.
no, not at all. But he remodeled that bathroom himself by hand,
Right.
and it took a whole.
We didn't have a
semester.
bathroom.
Yeah.
We used
Oh, yeah,
Darren
that's right.
Brady's
That's right. I
bathroom.
forgot
Yeah, you
about
had to
that.
share Brady's
Yeah.
bathroom. Oh.
Funny little side note about that leak story. When it first started, and kind of how we discovered there was a leak is Ben and I are in bed, and Graham's showering. Classic. Like that's just part of the story. It's always that. And Graham opens the door to the pantry. Ben and I are in bed, and we look over. Graham is butt.
Oh yes, I forgot about that.
Graham.
Why was he down there? Oh, because we told him to come down. we were like, you gotta look at
Graham,
this.
You gotta look at the leak.
We run downstairs, and he comes down too.
Right, and so like we're like at this point we're like Graham might not come. We're back in bed, lights are off.
That's right.
Pantry light flips on. Graham opens the door, butt naked, like no clothing whatsoever.
No towel.
No towel. Just nothing. Looks at Ben, turns, looks at me, and goes, "Yep, that's a leak," and then closes the door and walks away. That's it.
That's so great.
That was it. Man.
Before you have
You've
to. Before
you've
you
not
have
lived
to-
until you've not lived until you've seen Graham Crawford naked.
That's true. That's true.
Like,
It's